Your attention, please. Attention, please.
And now the moment we've been waiting for is here.
Paulie, welcome to the podcast, mate.
Let's go. Thank you for having me, mate.
Okay. Yeah, man, I've been trying to get you on for the last few weeks. You're a busy man. You run a busy schedule.
Trying to do a few bits. Yeah, keeping myself busy.
I know. So you and I met each other probably, last year, I'd say?
Yeah.
Probably early to mid last year. I think we were on a night out, and then tell you who I think it was Emmett. Was it Emmett or Ducky came up to me and they said, you need to get in with Paulie. He's on the content game. You'll really get into him. And I was like, all right, yeah, sure. And then I started following you, and you've kind of doing pretty well on the old social media front, mate.
Yeah, I've been pumping it out the last 2 years. But yeah, I remember Chivo was telling me about you. He was like, oh, you do a bit of content as well.
I try. I'm not very good at it, but I try.
Oh, mate, it's all about just trying and putting yourself out there and
100%.
seeing what works.
So just to understand, so how long have you lived in Australia for now then?
I've been here 2 years. My second year anniversary was just at the start of November. So
nice.
Just hit the 2 years.
Just hit the 2 years. And were you doing any kind of content stuff before you came over? Or was it literally something that you started doing when you were here?
I did a little bit, mainly when I came here. But before, like myself and my partner Elena, we set up a jewellery business.
Nice.
That was like when I was studying digital marketing, so just as a way for me to kind of implement what I was learning.
Yeah.
It was during COVID as well, so like I was just online the whole time, not going to classes, so in person. So it's just a way for me to like kind of build a website and do some social content. It was a men's jewellery business, so it was slightly harder to... it's a bit more forced, I feel, like, trying to make the content.
I was going to say, it's a lot, with the content you do now, it's very much like personal branding, very much like the day in the life of, like, you're cycling around, you're drinking coffees. It's probably quite easy to create that kind of stuff because you're just basically documenting what you're doing on a day-to-day. Whereas if you're, like, promoting, like, a jewellery brand, it's probably harder from a content perspective, I imagine. Yeah.
Like, that's what I try to do, just... like, make content about your passions, like things you're going to do anyway, so that like long term you'll be able to keep it consistent. That's
of course.
Like I run, cycle, go for coffees, cruising for coffees, and so something I do anyway. So just whip out the phone, take a few clips, and then you can just make a video out of that.
I like it. So was it one of those things that when you did move over here, you just started maybe just documenting more of your day to day, and before you knew it, it just started blowing up a little bit?
Yeah, so when just before I moved, I was making like the odd kind of cycling video on TikTok. That's where I started.
All on TikTok?
All on TikTok. I wasn't ready for the step up to Instagram where all the people I knew would see me.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with TikTok especially, is it's kind of one of those things that you can kind of do it hidden, can't you? Like not your mates won't see it, your family and friends might not be following you. Exactly. So you can feel like you can trial things out on TikTok that then you can later bring over to the gram, I imagine.
Yeah, you build up a bit of confidence. You might get slightly better at making videos. Obviously, your first one's not going to be great.
Yeah. I'm about 3 years in and all mine are still shit, so...
No, it's good, mate. It's good.
But, so that's cool. So what happened then? So when did the TikTok start kind of blowing up a little bit, and then you're like, right, I'm going to start moving this over to the gram?
Yeah, so once I moved over as well, like me and my partner moved, it was... like once I moved, I was starting to, focus a bit more on running and cycling. So that's what I was, because obviously you have all your mates back home. Once you move to a new city, you're kind of, you have a lot of more free time. And you're not seeing your family all the time, you're not seeing your mates. So I had a bit more free time and just focusing on running and cycling. And it's the Adidas Velo Samba shoes, mate.
Really? Are you wearing them today? Are they the ones that made you go like mini viral?
These are the ones with the cleat in the sole. So once I made a TikTok video including these, I got like hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok.
That's mad.
Then once I saw that, it's like,
it made the momentum keep going.
Yeah, mate. Once you get like a decent amount of views and like semi-viral or whatever, it's like it's such a, I don't know, like an adrenaline rush. You're absolutely buzzing. So once like my first video was like, if you're not wearing these Adidas Velo Samba cycling shoes, you are doing it wrong. But I didn't even put like any like I don't know, I feel like now I put like a bit more oomph into it.
Yeah, like a bit more emotion maybe. Like you try and like emphasize your words, but at the time you didn't really do that.
Yeah, my first one was just like, oh, you're doing it wrong. But then like after that, I was like, oh, you're doing it wrong.
That's funny, man. That's funny.
Yeah, get a bit more into it.
No, fair play. So were they the shoes that kind of made you? They kind of went mini viral, and then from there, did you get a lot of? Did you have like a call to action or anything? Did you like have a load of people organically just start following you from that?
Yeah, I'd say some people. Yeah, I got a decent amount of followers from that, but like no call to action. It was
fair enough.
It's just like letting people, like Adidas don't do much promotion of the shoes.
Yeah, I didn't even know they existed until you started wearing them.
Yeah. So a lot of people, and I think as well as what made them like the videos do decent is the Samba shoes were like popping off like a year or two ago as well.
They had a bit of like a resurgence in like culture, didn't they? Like a lot of people were wearing the Sambas. You go on a night out, you see girls wearing them, guys wearing them, like you'd see everyone kind of wearing them. So do you think because of that, it almost like you dived into a bit of like just social culture talking about it?
Oh, 100%. Culture is huge. Like, you know, like what's trending, what's popular at the moment. Like.
Of course.
So I think that was like another element that made it hit a bit more.
Nice.
But yeah, since then, like, you know, just making videos about cycling, and it's my little like hack to get a few extra things. You know, include the shoes. You know, like especially my get ready with me videos.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
Get ready for a cycle. They'll make an appearance every time, and like
I like it.
They do decent. Yeah, so
I got a couple of questions about content because. I mean, I make videos. I'm a personal trainer. Like I make videos, but there's still that daunting moment where you've had an idea, you've diced it up, you've created it, you've put it into your CapCut or whatever you've done, your iMovie, whatever you've done, and then you're about to press send, you're about to post go. Do you ever have that moment of like, oh my god, this is fucking cringe, or this is? Did you ever experience that kind of like inner dread of what my mate's going to think, what my family like, you know what I mean, like just that kind of inner cringe because you are doing something completely new that you'd never done before. Yeah. The same with me. It's like the first time I started posting, I'm like, I look like such a wanker here.
Yeah. Oh, I definitely at the start, but that's kind of like what, like as we were saying, like the TikTok was like a nice way to get it going. I don't know. I don't know if I was ever like super cringe about it.
Yeah.
But, like, it's definitely putting yourself out there, getting yourself out of your comfort zone.
For
so
sure.
It's a bit like, but like I really enjoy making the videos. And yeah, I don't know.
I think the fact that you enjoy making it is, and you're very much yourself in it. No one can really say anything against it.
Yeah.
What are they gonna say?
If they do, like fucking.
Fuck them. Fuck them. Yeah. And was your partner really supportive when you started making the videos? Was she like all for it, or was she a bit like, "What are you doing, playing on your phone all the time"?
No, she was. She does her own little bits as well. Like,
Gaia.
Like she makes TikToks and stuff about like her hair journey and things like that.
Gaia, fair play.
And like around her passions like animals and things like that. So she was supportive. She's done well on TikTok as well. She has a few decent videos.
Okay, got it. So it's almost like part of the relationship then is that you both have your own creative pursuits in a way.
Yeah,
that's cool, man.
She's definitely more creative than me. Like I never thought of myself as creative, like, you know.
Yeah, fair play.
Growing up, like I'd never really had a creative outlet.
Yeah.
So once I found like videos, it's definitely a nice way. Like even just having an idea of some sort of video and like or what message you want to put out, like that's kind of happening to you in your life at the time.
Yeah.
Just being able to create something and put it out there.
It's cool, right? It's cool. Yeah. It's cool that like I think I agree with you. Like growing up, that was never a thing that we could have done. There was no real creative outlet. How old are you now?
31.
So, yeah, I've just turned 30, right? Like when I was a teenager, unless I was making like really early YouTube videos, which wouldn't have been a thing, I would never have done that. Like there was no real creative thing. There's nothing to do like that. So the fact now that we've got like social media and stuff, and you can kind of like express yourself by, I've got an idea, I can see this would be creative, this could be funny, and you can dice it up. And with all the software that we've got now to make it kind of really easy, it's so accessible, isn't it? Yeah. It's like super accessible.
Like at the moment, I just do it all on my phone.
Do you? You don't go laptop?
Don't go laptop. It's something I want to do, like moving forward. I think that's something that could...
I feel like I haven't got the finger dexterity for that. Like I feel like my big chubby fingers wouldn't be able to do like the thumbs. Yeah, 100%.
The boomer thumbs.
Yeah, 100%. Fair play. So whereabouts did you grow up in Ireland then?
Dublin.
Like proper, like would you say like you're Dublin city, like you're a city boy from Dublin?
Well, yes. Well, I'm not from like the main city centre.
Got ya.
But definitely city boy. I'm not
Fair
too great with my hands. Like I wouldn't do well on a farm.
Did you have to do farming work when you came over here?
No. I was on the working holiday visa.
Fair play.
Got the COVID visa extension.
Got you, nice. You never had to get chucked off to the farm or anything.
No. But like people who do, you know, you can go to you can work in hospitality up in
That's true.
Queensland or something.
Man, I've heard some people go up to like is it Whit Sundays and that's considered rural and they'll just be working in a bar for 3 months. I'm like, that's fucking better than my normal life. It sounds fun.
Some people who go up there and don't want to come back.
Yeah, 100%. I think
Richie.
Yeah.
I'm meant to be moving in with him, but he's just having too much fun up there, like working on all the bars, organising like events and stuff. So.
Well, I think it's exactly that. I think he's like, he moved up there, like planning on, I'm going to go up there for a few months, do my work or whatever. And I think he's just had so much fun. He's like, I'm not coming back down. He's like, I'll come next month. He just keeps pushing it off. Fair play. Fair play. Yeah. So you've been over here for 2 years now. You were from Dublin. What is it, right? Maybe you'll be able to help me with this one. So when I meet Irish people, if you meet one Irish person, you meet fucking 40 of them. No, you guys really do roam as like a pack. I find, especially if I think like with friends coming over from Ireland, it's just like you'll all know each other. You'll have mutual friends. Is that just what Ireland's like? Is it? It's a very, very close culture of people, really.
Yeah, it is. Like, and I think when people just move away, it's like an easy way to make friends and big groups. Like. So yeah, like definitely coming over here, like I knew like some Irish mates,
of course,
just from like traveling or whatever, and then like you just meet up with them and then meet friends through them. But like it's definitely Irish like to stick together.
They do, mate. That's
why I didn't want to move to St Kilda because they're like, I'm going to be an Irish people the whole time. So but it's harder to like, especially being in like Australia, it's kind of harder to like, especially when you're a little bit older, to get into like Aussie groups of mates. Like it'd be similar back home if like an Aussie came.
He's probably going to struggle.
Like it'd be hard to kind of get into the. So that's why I love run clubs. Really good way to meet people. Like obviously similar interests, but like there's not too many Irish people in there, so you have to get out of your comfort zone and chat to Aussies and
that makes sense.
They're legends.
So talk me through this, right? So I've been to a few run clubs and I've been a bit scathing of run clubs in the past. Can you sell me on run clubs?
I can.
Please do, because I've been to 2 and I remember just thinking, these aren't my people. I don't know, it's like a bunch of real, like, it's gonna sound mean, but like just a bunch of people like really trying really hard to impress everyone with their running ability. And I remember thinking, I was thinking, this ain't for me. This isn't for me. Yeah. So go on, sell me on a run club.
There's definitely different kinds of run clubs.
Yeah.
Definitely. I haven't been to too many, but like some would, people like have their ego involved.
Yeah.
Plug for 8 miles. It's like the polar opposite of that.
Yeah.
It's really social, casual. People just go. We meet up, go for a 4.5K run, like super.
That's nice.
Super inclusive pace, like really slow, and then you would just have a little loop and then go back and have coffee after. So
is that in Collingwood?
We're just chatting the whole time.
Nice.
It's not about like, obviously like some of the runners are really good there, but like if they want to do a speed session, they'll do it on their own time, or there's different run clubs like AMPM that do like track sessions or ultra athletics. So no, I say if you go and you just want to have a social casual run and these people are like sprinting off, like that's just not fun. Like,
that was part of it. I got there, right, and I remember thinking this was probably about 2 years ago in 2022, and I remember I didn't know anyone in Melbourne at the time. I was like, right, I'll go to this run club, I'll see what it's about.
What run club was it?
It was called you're gonna test me now. It was called Melbourne. Run Melbourne? Was it Run Melbourne? It might have been Run Melbourne. Or it was a Sunday run club, a Saturday morning run club, early, like 6 to...
Was there like thousands of people?
No, it's fine. There was probably, I think on the busiest, there was probably maybe like 50 to 60 people. Yeah, decent size,
Yeah.
But I remember getting there and I remember thinking, like, I just rolled out of bed. Like, I remember thinking, right, exactly what you just said there. I want a nice, easy 3-4K run, go grab a little coffee, socialise.
Yeah.
And I remember these people, they had the fucking headbands on, running glasses on, they've got the Strava watches, they've got their Garmin's on, and I'm like... this might be a bit too. This might be a bit too much for me. I don't know, but yeah. So what is 8 miles then? Because you've told me about that in the past. What actually is it?
So it's a run club started by George, he's a chef.
Yeah.
He was like an up and coming chef, like really good chef from Melbourne, and he set it up to help people in the hospitality industry, like to just get together outside of either like working or going out kind of to a pub or something.
Of
have
course.
another avenue
That's
where
it.
they can just kind of come together and go for a run. So that was like the main reason he started for people in the hospitality industry. But then since then he's opened it up to everyone really. So it's just become a really like nice, safe space. Really,
That's cool, man.
really inclusive. Just for that kind of social outlet.
That's cool. And how many times is it? Just once a week?
It's fortnightly, every second Wednesday.
Ah, okay. Oh, it's on a Wednesday. It's not on the weekend.
On a Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. from the Map Lab.
Yeah.
Map's a cycling brand, but they've kind of teamed up with Map and 8 Miles.
That's cool how he's done that.
Yeah, it's great. It's such a good space.
You're like an ambassador for it.
Yeah, mate. I love it. So it's done. I've learned so much from going to 8 Miles.
Is there some
just about like run clubs, and they're so community based. Like especially Chip, so did George, who founded and moved to London. He's since set it up there. He set up 8 Miles in London, but now Chip's kind of holding the reins and leading, and he's really community focused. Like if like brands are trying to get in, like that doesn't make sense for the run club, for like the community, you like turn down.
You're like, nah, it's not for us.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah.
So it's very true to its origins of what they're about. Then
100%.
That's cool.
Not selling out. Just
how many people will go to it?
A good few, like 40, 50 or 60.
That's big. And when you'll get into that kind of 40 to 50 mark, is that when brands start wanting to come in? Because didn't you tell me once that brands were there offering shoes or something, and you got to try out some shoes and stuff?
Yeah, they do a lot of wear tests.
Really?
But like, it's kind of something different. It's to your usual run, you get to try out new pairs. But like, it is a way for brands to kind of get shoes on feet for
of course
for people. But like, wear tests are fun. They're like something a bit different. I don't know if they're in Ireland as much, but like people go and you get to try out like Hoka or like Puma.
That's sick. So what
and sometimes you get to keep them after, which is
that's fucking unreal.
An extra little bonus.
From the brand's perspective, then, does 8 Miles have like a real big social media profile or anything? Like, what's the benefit of like, say, Hoka, massive running brand? Why are they going to this random 40 or 50 people on a Wednesday morning saying, "Hey guys, you want to try out our shoes?" What's the kind of benefit for them?
Well, for a brand, it's like runners are their customers, I suppose.
Yeah.
So like getting their name out there, getting them to try the shoes, and then they might buy them. If you test and feel something you like it, you're more
fair enough.
So that's why like you kind of, it's a fine line to tread getting brands involved, because they're kind of obviously they've their business objectives to sell, like, but
and
it's good, like people like runners absolutely love different like running shoes, like
100%.
They love chatting about them. They're like the race day shoes, they're easy run shoes.
What are you running?
New Balance.
New Balance?
Fuel Cell.
Yeah.
They're like race day shoes, but I probably wear them too much.
Really?
On every run.
So like a race day shoe, that would be way more built for speed rather than like, so with my Hokas that I wear, I've got a massive, like probably more of like a slower, I imagine, or like a longer run shoe. Do you notice the difference between a race shoe and a more longer comfort shoe?
Yeah. Race shoes would like have a carbon plate generally and spring you forward, send you flying. So
are they uncomfortable to wear? They don't sound as comfortable.
No, I think they're pretty comfortable. The New Balance ones are anyway.
Fair play, that's sick. You just did the Melbourne half, didn't you?
I did.
How'd it go?
Yeah, really well. So generally I, take it pretty easy on runs, just kind of like moving the body and enjoying the run, and like even for races I was kind of building for like marathons just to like complete it.
Not
of
course.
For a strict time. So this time I wanted to, like, since the start of the year I've been focusing on my running technique and like understanding the running mechanics. So like before, like I've been getting lessons from the Balanced Runner.
Wow.
So I've got like one-on-one lessons and like actually learning how to run, because like before I was like when I started running, like one arm was swinging one way, the other and just like overstriding and just like
Yeah, of course.
sending a lot of pressure up like my back and stuff.
And
like,
would you notice after 5, 6, 7, 10 miles, you're like, oh, my back's starting to hurt, or like my hip's starting to hurt? Would you notice like pain and discomfort like as the run?
yeah, well, especially like after the run, like my back would be tweaking, or like
Really?
kind of like my glued into my lower back. I kind of had like an injury there, like some like tendon. But since then, since I've been like getting the running lessons, I've just been trying to work on that and like work on speed rather than like marathon distance. So for the Nike Melbourne Marathon, I did the half marathon, going for sub 1 hour 40, which is
Good pace.
fast for me. And
That's a great pace. And so that's just over a 3 hour marathon. It's a fucking great pace.
Yeah, it'd be decent to hold that for the time. But so then I got it in 1:38, so I was
Oh my
shocked
god!
with that, so.
And were you the whole way time thinking, right, we're just purely focusing on technique here? Is that kind of what you were really drumming through your head as you were going through the half?
Yeah,
That's cool, man.
definitely.
Do you notice?
Make sure you get those arm swings.
Yeah.
To really like drive yourself forward, and just with like landing on the right part of your foot and like pushing off.
I was gonna say, like, what's like the landing mechanics? Because I run like fucking Shrek. Like, I used to train one of my mates who was a really good cross country runner, and I came from a football background.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Fucking hell, Bennett, man, you sound like free fire." I was so heavy footed. Do you find that it's like you're just trying to increase your cadence? Is it like quite quick? Like quite, I don't know how to say this. Is like multiple steps, not huge strides, not landing too heavy.
Yeah, 100%. Don't overstride. That's what something I was doing, like landing. Like my leg kind of a bit stretched, so you want to like land under your body, and like really like lifting from your upper leg, and then that will like land your foot in the right position. So you want to land like midsole kind of thing.
That makes sense.
Not on your heel. That's like a break.
When you're doing the running lessons, does he just run alongside you and go right, or does he like how does he actually correct your technique as you're running?
Yeah, it's really interesting to learn how he actually like teaches people. So at the start, I just did a few laps like without knowing anything, like without him like giving me any instructions. He just wanted to see how I ran.
And just on a normal track?
Just on a track, yeah. You probably saw a lot of things I could have worked on, but the first one was arm swings. That's what he focused on first. Getting them down and then kind of working through like the legs. And
so he went from the top bottom. He's like, right, we need to fix this.
Top down.
Yeah, he was like, right, we need to fix this thing. And he said the bottom bit, we'll get onto that later.
Yeah, exactly.
So how long have you been working with him then?
I've done 3 sessions, maybe for a couple of months.
I love that. That's so much fun.
Yeah, I like the way he kind of works. He like gives you something to work on, lets you go do it for like months, and then once you really have it nailed down, then you'll pick up like the next tip. So
that's so cool.
He doesn't like overload you at the start.
That's really cool.
And yeah, it just makes running a bit funner when you actually do the right form. You know, it's less likely to be injured.
Of course.
You can increase your speed and like your I know, just in endurance in general.
Well, I feel like you have a bit more purpose and intention with the actual running, whereas running just became like an exercise. You're now actually like focusing on technique and you're actually thinking about things. And when you actually focus on the skill part of it, you're, like you say, your times are getting better. You're running faster. You're running smoother. Like when you get a bit of a feedback loop like that, it's actually quite addictive, I find. It's like when you notice yourself visibly getting better, you're like, oh, hold on. Whereas maybe before you didn't think you were a runner. Now you're a bit like, oh, actually, I'm picking this up. Yeah. And if you can pull like a 1:38 half marathon, that's a really good pace. It's a really good pace.
Decent.
Yeah.
And that's what everything is about, just making progress slowly over time. Like that's really how you like, I know, happiness or whatever. It's just like building at something, working at it, and progressing over time.
Are you quite a goal-driven person with that? Like, are you quite good at like setting big goals for yourself, or are you a bit
like at
more?
The start of the year, I write down a few goals. So I think, it's a good setting goals, but I'm not like thinking about them every
yeah,
day.
fair
I just
enough.
Kinda have a few main ones that I kind of work towards and things like that.
And are you very much like, all right, so say you'll take your goal and then you'll break it down by the individual processes that you need to do in that? So like, for example, running, you wanted to do a sub 140. In your head, are you like, right, well, I need to do X amount of runs a week. I need to focus on that. Is that kind of how you break down?
Oh, no, I don't really like have the strict kind of like, I have to do this. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because if you set strict, like, I have to do like 4 or 5 runs a week, or I don't know, you can kind of probably get disheartened if you're not hitting it, and then
you can run out of momentum sometimes if you miss a week.
And then it's a bit of a chore, like, so, I've done 3 runs, like, I'm kind of happy with that, but I said I'll do 5, so now I have to like do runs when I don't really want to, stuff like that, you know.
I think you and I have spoken about this with from a content perspective. You're like, I never set. Don't you? You don't set like hard content goals, do you? Don't you just? No. Is that because if you start setting really hard content goals of like X amount of posts or whatever it is, it then becomes a chore that you have to do?
100%. Take the fun out of it a bit, like.
Okay.
And
so how do you stop yourself from being too lenient on yourself then?
Well, like things ebb and flow, like, you know, like 1 week or 1 month I could be like really on my content game, but then maybe not so much on my training, or not so much personal relationships, or like traveling kind of things. So like things ebb and flow, like you don't know exactly how the week or month's gonna go. So
fair enough. So you can just take it as it comes.
Last week with the t-shirt deliveries, I was like hand delivering them, pumping out the content, folding all the t-shirts, hand packaging them. So then I was really on like content, you know, kind of
that's sick.
For building up for the t-shirts.
Yeah, of course.
But now I'm a bit more like, I don't know, I'll be moving back to Ireland kind of soon, so I'm just kind of wrapping things up here. And
when are you moving back to Ireland?
Like before the end of the year.
Are you excited to go back?
I am. It's taken me a while to come to terms with moving back.
Yeah, of course.
'Cause like we were talking about at the beginning, since moving over here, like my life has just fucking got exponentially better, and like I've really focused on like my passions and like, I don't know, maybe like career.
Yeah, no, and things have started to take off you, right? So like the socials have gone well. You're doing t-shirt drops. Like you've got into biking and then running. So then going back. So you're going back in just before Christmas, you think?
Yeah, I'll be back before Christmas.
Fair play. Is that because the girlfriend went home?
Yeah, she's there now. So
fair enough. So
if I didn't go home any sooner, I'll be
you're under the cosh.
I'll be cut.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense. Will you continue doing the brand and building the personal brand and stuff when you're back in Ireland?
That's the plan. Definitely.
I sometimes
like that's what I was struggling with. Like with moving back, like I just kind of go back to where I was like 2 years ago. But like I'm just gonna bring everything I learned from like run clubs, from content. You know, Australia's always a couple of years ahead with like trends and things like that, and health and wellness space. So
of course,
I'm just gonna bring everything back, and that's kind of what my plan was when coming out here.
Yeah,
just to kind of focus on what I actually, just kind of learn more about myself and see what I like, and eventually move it back, because at the end of the day, family is important. So like,
of course, you have to go back eventually.
Have to go back eventually, but then hopefully I can come back for like trips, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Like it doesn't have to be black and white. You can.
Do you think, I've often thought about this, is that like the environment of where you build your business or your content, whatever it is, it has to be very applicable to kind of what you're doing. So like say for example, run clubs are really popular in Melbourne. So you doing run-based content in Melbourne makes sense, right? Because it's a very, very popular hobby that people do. So are run clubs big in Dublin? I wouldn't have a clue. Is that even a thing that people do?
It's popping off. It's getting a lot bigger.
There you go. So you better take that back and learn with everything you've learned over here.
Yeah, I'm going to set up a run club.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. With my friend Connor and Dave, they set up an acai food truck, which is kind of taken from like, you know, acai was huge in like Sydney and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
They brought it over. They were one of the first, and so they had like a food truck in Monkstown, like in inside Dublin. But now they have another location in the city centre in Jury Street.
That's sick.
So I've been chatting to Dave about, and plan is to run it out of there. And they're really good with their socials and stuff.
Oh, that'd be an amazing collaboration, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be a nice way to just kind of get it off the ground.
That'd
but
be
like,
sick.
there's some run clubs, like Mild Activity. I haven't actually been to it, but they're popping off. Like
really,
they're really solid run club. So yeah, and like even other, like you see other like content creators around running, setting up run clubs, and
what's
like
the
absolute crowds of people. So you know,
that's cool. So it's there's definitely an audience who are receptive to it. It's not like you're trying to sell fucking meat to a vegan. You know what I mean? Like people will be receptive to a run club in Dublin.
Definitely.
That's cool. Can you explain to me, what is the, like when people set up run clubs, is there like, there's not like a financial benefit to setting up a run, because it's all free, right? You don't pay a membership to a run club. So like when you see like the Run South Yarra, for example, which has like 1,000 people turn up to it.
Yeah.
What's the actual benefit to the people who host that? Is it more like just like maybe they'll build a bit of a social brand from it, or they'll build a social media profile? Like, what's the actual ROI on setting up a run club?
I'd say people set it up just for, you know, there's like, you can set it up for like community. It was the main thing, which is like just bringing people together around a common interest, or else like you can do like brand like t-shirt drops or like some merch or things like that. But like, yeah, it's not really a way to make money, like, and people don't want to be sold to.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's just a platform, but like then you could like work with brands or
that's cool,
or something in the future.
Because I've always wondered, like, especially with, I think it's Run South Yarra is the massive one, right?
That's a huge one, yeah.
I've never understood it from both sides. I've never seen it like on a Saturday morning. Why do I want to go run with 2,000 people and be like squished? I don't know what. I've always thought that, but then I've always thought on the other side, it must be like a headache trying to organise that many people. Like,
I've never actually been to Run South Yarra.
I know Emmett has. He fucking loved it. He couldn't keep his eyes to himself.
Standard over.
Yeah, no, of course.
But well, yeah, no, that's like when road clubs get that big, it's really hard to kind of keep that kind of core.
Yeah, of course. And that's why you like 8 Miles so much, right? Is that you've been able to kind of maintain that like kind of core unit, I guess.
Yeah, like small is good in a way, but like yeah, I don't know, when it gets that big and you can kind of get like little cliques and groups, and like it'd be harder for newcomers to kind of come in when everyone has their own mates. But like, yeah, it's insane the amount of people, and I'm sure it's hard to organise and like probably be pissing off people like trying to go for a walk along the tan, and then like hordes of people going around.
I think I heard a rumour the police were called one day and they're like, there's a riot in the streets, and the police turned up and they're like, what are you guys doing? They're like, it's a run club.
Yeah.
And the police are like, oh my God, that's crazy. Talking about, so you've just done the t-shirt drop, right? Cruisin for Coffee.
Yeah.
Was that a saying that you put onto your stories and to your Instagram all the time, and then you've turned that into like a merch? Is that what happened?
Cruisin for Coffee is like at the start of the year, another thing I wanted to do at the start of the year was set up like content series.
Yeah.
And so I just mixed like my two interests, like cycling and coffee. You know, I like cycling, like cruising around the city and then getting a coffee. So that's where I started the Cruisin for Coffee, and then I was basically just bringing out like a merch.
That's cool.
But like it's like a passion project.
I think it's cool. It's really cool.
I wasn't really trying to like make loads of money out of it, but like from a branding
it's sick
perspective.
So with the Cruisin for Coffee content series, essentially you just film yourself just going to different coffee shops all around Melbourne, and you just like record that, and then would you like rate the coffee or anything like that?
Yeah. So it's me basically reviewing different like cafes.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
And, like Melbourne as well.
I'd do that. That's a good passion project.
Yeah, mate. But yeah, so, and I want to promote like the benefits of cycling. You know, how it's like super easy to get around, especially like in Melbourne. You know, you can get places quick. You don't have to rely on like public transport.
Yeah, of course.
Drive. You know, there's no, you know, it's free. You get exercise. You know, there's so many benefits from cycling. That like I just want to try to promote, and then also kind of working with cafes as well.
That's cool, man. That's
cool.
cool.
And plus, like having if people do content, like having a series is a really good way to do marketing.
Yeah.
So I can include my t-shirt in the video, you know, and it's not like super salesy, you know.
Oh, and I think
you can have your own little platform.
I love that, and I think as well that like it's building like stories within your brand, right? It's kind of like that becomes almost like an arm of your content, which is like your Cruisin for Coffee series, which is like people know you as, oh, he's the guy who'll go try out all the different coffee shops.
Yeah,
I think that's really, really cool. Like, and depending on what creator you are, you could have these different like series based on what you do. So I could have a jiu-jitsu series or something, or
what I'm saying, you can documenting your journey.
How shit I am. Absolutely awful.
I don't know. Fair play to anyone who does MMA or jiu-jitsu. I am not built for that. Break into a million pieces.
What was I going to say next? So, have you ever had any nicks on your bike or anything? Have you ever been hit by a car or anything? I was cycling 2 years ago. I was training for a triathlon, so I was cycling everywhere.
Yeah.
And I got twatted by a car.
Yeah. It can be dangerous, like especially drivers not paying attention.
Man, that was the thing. I think, to be fair to the guy, I think I was on his left side and I was in the cycling lane. And I think I must have been in his blind spot. So, you know, when he just pulled straight over and I had nowhere else to go other than the side of his car. And I hit his car was going pretty fast, and I went flying. Yeah. Have you ever had anything like that? Because I've seen you weave in and out of track. You're flying.
I know, videoing myself.
You got one hand in the air, you one arm there, you're talking to the camera. I don't know how you do it. I'd die, mate. It'd be a nightmare.
I don't know. Just get used to it. I had one like little accident of a car door opening on me when I was like flying in
No.
through a town.
Did you go off the bike?
I just flew straight into it. Like a little bit of whiplash, nothing too much, but like it was.
Were you polite to the people?
It was actually the guards.
Oh, no way. Was it?
Yeah.
And what did they say?
I got a bit like, once I saw it was the guards, like, oh shit, I could be in trouble here. So I kind of went off and like didn't think anything of it. And then the guard like obviously knew it was a bit of an accident, so he pulled me in and then took like a record of it and something.
He took Why would it be your fault if they opened the door into you in the bike lane?
I know. I was just once I saw the guards, I was just like, "Oh Jesus!" It's the guard. Like it was, they were in the wrong. Like
fair enough. Oh, they took a report for themselves. Do you mean?
Kind of, yeah, because it could have been.
Oh! So I thought you meant they took a report on you. I'm like, what did you do wrong?
No.
Was that back in Ireland or was that here?
Back in Ireland, yeah.
Okay. So you cycled all around Ireland as well then when you were living in Dublin?
Cycled, yeah. Like I had a car, early 20s kind of thing, and then I was like, I'm paying like so much money for like petrol, insurance. I just couldn't really afford it. And
I don't blame you.
I was just like, I'm just gonna go full time on the bike, like. So ever since then, I've just been full time cyclist kind of thing. Like.
There's definitely a part of me when I'm living in Melbourne. If you were to take a heat map of me in Melbourne, I go to the same 4 places. I go from my apartment to the grocery store to a coffee shop to the gym. And there's definitely times where I'm like, why am I driving around in a car? Like I've just got like a Golf, but I'm a bit like, that's just money just sitting there. Like I could easily do this on a bike or on a little electric scooter or something.
Yeah, and you get a bit of cardio.
Bit of cardio in, yeah.
It's really good for your head as well. I find like one thing I really don't like about driving, especially in cities, is like traffic. I just hate being like
bumper to bumper.
Yeah, just stuck in traffic. Like even if cycling, you might take you maybe longer than like the whole journey, but like you're constantly moving.
Of course.
And yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's not nice for the head. You just kind of like...
Are you headphones on or anything, or are you just...
Not when cycling.
No, you try and keep it fair enough.
You need to hear what's going on.
Yeah, fair enough.
I even run with no headphones.
Do you? You're a psychopath.
I know. Something wrong with me.
Yeah. That's impressive. I don't think I could do that.
Too much time in my thoughts. Like,
Is that
good though. I kind of need that. Just
of course.
Clear the head, think through stuff. And
you probably get more...
Because if I'm like working, or if you have earphones in, like you're just consuming shit all day. Like it's like, I don't want to be consuming tunes or a podcast while I'm like running. That's kind of like time to myself.
I've heard a lot of people say that sometimes you'll get your best ideas when you're not consuming. And to be honest, I probably need to take a leaf out of your book there, is that I spend my whole time consuming. I'm either listening to music, listening to a podcast, I'll be making dinner listening to a podcast, I'll be training, there'll be music, you know what I mean? Like there's very few times where it's just
time to yourself.
Yeah, very few times actually. And I think sometimes having those moments just to walk with no distraction or run or cycle, it's probably really good, just even just thinking of content or thinking about things you need to do or whatnot, just to have a bit of time with yourself.
It's like time in the shower, you always come up with decent ideas there.
That's true.
You can't be on your phone there. That's why I love going to the sauna in the Fitzroy pool. Your phone's in the locker, you're just going around, you're doing cold showers, you're in the sauna.
I still need to do Fitzroy pool. I've never been.
Oh mate,
the
Mecca of Fitzroy.
it is like the epicenter, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I just see Emmett there the whole time, just fucking prowling, probably.
Getting sunburned. Yeah.
Probably. But I need to come. But there's a swimming pool, and then there's sauna, showers, steam room as well.
Steam
and is there a gym there as well?
There's a gym upstairs.
Oh, I did not know that. I just thought it was purely just the pool. I didn't realise there was all that other stuff.
Yeah, the outdoor pool. That's like when I first started going there, and it was Chivo who recommended to me. I saw in his stories before moving over, like the Fitzroy pool.
Yeah.
So once I started going there, then I saw people swimming. I was like, this looks unreal. I need to learn how to swim. So it's taken me. I was doing like lessons for like years. For like about a year.
No way. Could you not swim before you came out?
No.
Well, you'd never learn how to swim?
No, like...
Really? Why is that, do you think?
Like, I don't know. A lot of people over here, like, get, like, lessons when they're kids.
Yeah,
like, absolute guns in the water.
100%.
But like in Ireland, some people probably do get lessons, but I didn't really like.
Fair enough.
I didn't like swimming back then, but
Fair enough.
we in Ireland we loved like just jumping in the sea for the cold plunge.
Yeah.
So like you're just kind of wading around, but like no actual distance. So then once coming over here, I was like, oh, I'd love to learn how to swim and then get into like triathlons and stuff.
And have you done any triathlons yet?
I've done a few last year. There's a 2XU triathlon series that starts around like November, December.
Yeah, the Olympic and sprint distance ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I started with the fun tries, which is like basically the kids.
Is that essentially like maybe like a 250-meter swim, a 5K, no, like a 10K bike and a 5K run?
Yeah, around those.
So like something like that, right?
Super easy, but like going from the pool to the sea is like different gravy.
100%, I agree.
Like in St Kilda Bay, it's like you put your head under, it's just dark.
It's gross, right?
Can't see anything, so it's like swimming all up. You know, it's probably doing twice the distance, like going off
in different directions. I know exactly what you mean. Exactly. So how many triathlons? You've done 2 or 3 triathlons now?
I've done, I think I did maybe like 3 fun ones.
Yeah.
Corporate one, and then the sprint distance was my last one.
Sprint being 500.
Like 750 swim, 20k bike, 5k run.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So that was, I don't know. I like running, cycling's fine. It's just the swimming.
Swimming's hard, man.
Swimming.
I think
especially learning something at an older age, like 30.
Yeah. Did you just sink when you jumped in the pool?
I was proper gassed, like doing one length. It's just all about the technique.
100%. And did you have like proper lessons where they were teaching you like proper form? And or was it a group lesson or a one-on-one? Or
Group lesson, yeah. So,
that was everyone like 5 years old.
Well, it was at 6 o'clock, and all the kids' lessons are on before me. So I'm there walking in, like, and all these kids are flying like like fish in the water.
Yeah.
There's me coming for like an adult lesson, just basically sinking and
That's funny.
for air.
How many people would you have in the group?
I think it's 4 max, but then people kind of drop off mid-term. So it's
fair enough. Okay, fair play. Was it quite common then that quite a few adults didn't know how to swim?
Well, yeah, more so just kind of like stroke improvement and like.
That's what I think I am. I did a half Ironman 2 years ago, and that was for me where I probably would say 80% of my time training was in the pool. Because my mate Ryan, who I've had on here before, he's a really good swimmer, and he saw me swim for the first time, probably similar to yourself. He was just like, "Oh, we need to work on this," and it was like just proper working on form and building up endurance in the pool. Because I was gassed.
Yeah,
I'd do a 50 meters or 100 meters, and I'd be like, well, and I just would sink. But yeah, the swimming was hard. The swimming is definitely hard.
How did you go in the half Ironman? That's something I want to do.
Trust me, if I can do it, you can definitely do it. You're a better runner and a better cyclist than me. So if I can
cycle like a 40k cycle?
No, so it was a 2k swim, it was a 90k bike, and then a half marathon, so whatever that is in Ks. What's 22, 23k? Is that 23k? 21, yeah. It went okay.
You got it done anyway.
Well, yeah, I'm annoyed at myself. I'm really competitive, and I'd had a football season before that, so I went into it pretty fit, but then I spent a load of time in the pool, and what I completely underestimated was the bike. I completely underestimated how hard the bike would be, and the bike I had was a road bike, and it wasn't a triathlon bike, and I think for longer distances, especially when you're getting into that kind of like longer triathlon, I think that's when actual really good equipment matters. So like I'd be like on the straight of this, like, you know, there'd be a 45k stretch or a 20k stretch where like head down, trying to tuck into a ball, trying to keep like as aerodynamic and like that. And then you just have these like 50-year-old men just going on their like triathlon bikes, and it sounded like they had an engine. It was ridiculous, and my legs were like working twice as hard. So I ballsed up the swim. I did okay. I think I did the swim in like 40 minutes. Nice. Which it wasn't that bad. The swim wasn't that bad. The swim wasn't the hard part. The swim I felt fine. Yeah. The bike fucked me. The bike genuinely killed me.
Like you gassed yourself.
Killed me. Yeah,
you still have to do a half marathon.
Yeah, and I got off, and then my legs were cooked, and I think I did a 2-hour half at the end. I did a 2-hour half, 3 and a bit. The bike fucked me. It wasn't great.
Cool, good man.
I've got it done. But then afterwards, like, you get it done, you're all happy, all your friends there, which was great. But then there's definitely the part of you when you kind of analysing your times and you go in, well, that was shit and that's shit. So I'd love to one day do a full, but I understand the amount of training required to complete a full. I don't.
A full-time gig.
It's a lot of training and a
Even
lot.
just a marathon training is
Yeah.
like.
Have you done a marathon then?
Yeah, I've done 2.
So yeah, I haven't even done a marathon yet, which I think would be really hard.
Yeah.
How did you find training for a marathon?
Like the first one I did, I definitely didn't train enough. Like I was on holidays before and
Yeah.
just tried to like wing it essentially. Like
Yeah.
So that was, I think I did it like 4 hours 50 minutes in Belfast.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Just grueling. Like the last
Was it brutal?
brutal. Like last 5K and my pace just dropped so much. So it's like you're doing like 7-minute Ks and
Yeah.
it's like, is this ever going to end? Like, my legs were so
Of course.
dust after. Like I had to lift them onto the bed. Like. But yeah, I trained a good bit for the Melbourne Marathon.
Oh, did you do the Melbourne in 2023?
3, yeah, last year.
And how did that go?
Pretty good. I think I did it in about 4 hours 10 minutes or something.
Fair enough.
But this was like before I kind of got my like running lessons and stuff. So
I think-
I've definitely come on a lot
Yeah.
since then, and like I was training loads, but like form wasn't good, and I just ended up getting injured.
Yeah.
Even like a week before, I started feeling like an injury, and I was like, I've been making so many videos about this marathon.
You
and,
can't get out of
I
it.
was like, no matter how injured I am after it, I'm fucking doing it.
That's sometimes the problem if you build a bit of an audience is that the things you say you kind of have to stick to because you've now got like actual eyeballs watching you.
That's what I like as well. Putting things out is like actually forces you to do it.
It's like accountability, right? It's kind of like
Accountability,
I've got thousands of eyeballs on me now. If I don't do this, at least someone's gonna pick up going, "When you meant to do a marathon last weekend or something?" That's funny. That's a good
You're just
idea.
a waffler. Like,
Yeah, you're just chatting shit. I like that. So what's your, if you don't mind me asking, like your like philosophy of training? Do you just go, I just want to be able to be healthy, run, bike, swim? Like, do you just want to kind of be a bit of an all-rounder in that respect?
Yeah, I suppose I don't really have a main,
Like a philosophy, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Just keeping active, keeping, healthy. Really,
Yeah,
is
fair
the
play.
main one. But also, increasing, technique, endurance, and just strength. Kind of keeping everything like at a decent level.
I like that.
And I like kind of mixing up my training, like running, cycling, swimming, gym as well, and like stretching and like a bit of like yoga and things like that.
No, I like that.
I like doing like a bunch of different things, just keeping it fresh.
I think that's cool. I also think it's really cool as well that you've taken lessons in certain things. Like, I think it's quite a smart thing to be like, no, I'm not very good at this. I want to reform my technique here. So you're going to take a running coach, and then you're like, right, I want to be a better swimmer. So you do swimming lessons.
Yeah.
Not many people have that kind of mindset. Like a lot of people just go, oh, I can't do that, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Or they just kind of get stuck in their ways and refuse to even, are not even open to learning. So I think that's really cool that you did that.
Really, you'll just progress so much quicker if someone's telling you like
100%.
what to do, and especially hand on hand, like people are there, they can see it.
Yeah, you can physically,
you
100%.
can, like learn straight away. So yeah, lessons are huge. Golf lessons are something I want to get. I'm absolutely brutal at golf.
Can you play golf?
Well, like I play with my mates, but like
What would you-
I've never got lessons, but I know like if I like commit a bit of time and
Yeah.
just actually get a good few lessons in, like I'll actually enjoy the game a bit more.
It seems to
But
me
the
that
lessons are huge.
yeah, it seems to me that you're very much like you want to be taught something and then you'll go implement it, you'll see a result. Like you seem that way driven with a lot of things. Like you'll be like, right, I'm going to learn how to run, and then you'll go and do a good half marathon. I'm going to learn how to swim, I'll do a triathlon. Then no, it won't surprise me if you then go and take golf lessons, then you're shooting fucking like 80 going around 80.
Maybe in the future. Yeah.
What would you go around golfing now?
Oh,
Sub 100?
about 100. About 100.
It's not. It wouldn't be a pretty game of golf.
No, it's my driver off to the right leg. It's.
I remember.
It's just fun. It's like my mates just like going out, and it's a good day out, like a bit of fun. Like
I don't think I've got the patience.
you're getting old when it's when you're just going out for 4 hours playing golf with
Yeah.
your mates. It's the only time you can meet up. Like
That's true. I think a lot of lads, a lot of my mates have had this where they do have that kind of like golf renaissance, whatever it is, where like they hit an age where like, oh, we're gonna go out and play golf. They all buy the clubs, they buy the gear.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got the patience for it. I've done a few rounds of 18, and by about hole 13, 14, I'm like, right, let's just fucking wrap this up now.
Yeah,
but I think it's because I'm really shit, so I don't like things.
It's addictive, I think, especially if you're good at it. Like
Yeah, of course. It's probably going back to what you were saying before. Is like it's the time with no other. you know, there's no music, there's no, like, you're not listening to podcast, it's just you and your own self. Like a lot of people, it's probably quite meditative, I imagine.
Yeah.
And maybe I need to get into it.
And that's another reason why I love like exercise as well. It's like just keeping the mental health fresh, like especially like in the morning, go for like morning steps or something, you know, just kind of think about the day ahead and stuff, you know, not just going straight into...
Would you put the phone away? Like put the phone away when you're going on your walks? Or do you just take it with you?
I take it with me, yeah.
Fair enough.
Might look at a few messages or something, but I try not to, like, it'd be nice.
Try not to be completely absorbed in it when you're walking.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Good. I need to do more of that, to be honest. I feel like...
Morning steps and the coffee is huge.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
You mentioned mental health there. Is that something that you've proactively kind of come to learn as you got older? It's like, if I focus on these things, my mental health is overall better by like doing exercise, walking in the mornings? Or
Yeah. More so, I suppose, a bit later in life. You can think.
Is that something you've ever struggled with in the past at all?
Not really. I've been pretty lucky, like quite positive. And,
that's good.
Never, touch wood, had like been depressed or anything.
That's good.
I'm definitely I'm lucky in that sense. But I like, but you still have to work at it, even 100%. Even if you have a good mental health. Like
100%. I also think as well, when people say, "Oh, I'm lucky, I've never really experienced that," it's almost like it's like that you're lucky or you're very proactive in protecting your mental health. Like, you might keep good people around you. You know, you've got maybe a healthy relationship, you've trained a lot, and you stay healthy. Like, yes, you're lucky to have never been like predisposed to it, but at the same time, you're very proactive at protecting it at the same time. So you tick all the right boxes anyway. You probably sleep well, you look after your diet, you do all the training. Like, you're ticking a lot of the boxes that you're meant to be ticking, you know? Yeah. And that kind of helps you feel a lot better.
I think with, like, I know people kind of deal with it in their own ways, but I think like exercise, like if you're depressed and you're not exercising, that's like a great place to start. Like, you like the endorphins you get after, you just feel good about yourself, you know.
100%.
So many things, and it's not just physical, it's mental as well.
100%. And it's probably the lowest barrier to entry, right? It's kind of like, what is the easiest thing I can start doing that's not going to cost a load of money, or that's not going to need a load of things? Like just going out and doing some kind of exercise, a walk, a run, like something like that. It's such a low barrier to entry and such a big ROI. Like, you're going to feel amazing afterwards, like with those endorphins. And if you can consistently do that, that's great. It's definitely good.
It's free as well. Like some sports are, like cycling as well, it can be quite like expensive and hard to get into. So that's kind of something I like to try. Like, I'm not a professional or competitive cyclist, so like anyone can jump on a bike, you know. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be
fucking Lance Armstrong,
Lycra out the gap, like, you know.
Have you ever done like a bike race or anything like that?
No,
no.
Never have.
Have you ever done any like longer distance bikes?
I've done like a bit of bike packing.
What's that?
Bike packing's where you put like a rack on your back wheel, and you can throw on like your tent and like camping stuff.
Oh wow!
So you're cycling and camping for like a few days.
Fuck, that's sick. And what kind of distances would you have done with that?
I did one recently along the Great Ocean Road and the Ottaway National Park.
That would have been unreal.
It was deadly, man.
I bet that's stunning. So how long did you do that for?
It was like 4 nights, 5 days.
Oh wow!
So I got like the V-Line train out to a place called Camperdown. Near the Great Ocean Road. Then went down to like Port Campbell, camped there, and then went along the Great Ocean Road through the Ottaway National Park into Lorne, and then then I met my mate Reen. We kind of linked up, went to Torquay and like Queenscliff, and then you can get the ferry across to Sorrento.
Oh wow, you did a big loop.
Loop the loop, and then straight up the Mornington Peninsula.
You did that whole thing on your own?
I did the first 2 nights on my own, and my mate Reen joined me for like the last 2.
Wow, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Are you quite good at camping and doing the backpacking thing?
I've had a bit of experience. Me and my mates did a trip like along the Wild Atlantic Way in Ireland. Wow. So I had like a bit of experience for that, but like it's never like
proper outdoors.
That's
really cool.
But it's class. It's such a it's nice being on the road. Like, it's just a different way of living. Like,
of course,
you appreciate so much like when you come back, because like the weather wasn't the best. It was like pretty windy and like rainy.
Yeah, of course.
And then like you're camping every night. It's like you don't have a hot shower right beside you. Like,
yeah.
So when you come back, it's like, I have a warm bed, a house, like a roof over my head.
100%. You appreciate the small little things, right?
The perspective's insane.
That's sick.
Yeah.
And was it weird, like camping on your own at night? Was that lonely at all, or were you like, was that fine?
It was a little, like my first night. I brained it and didn't book a campsite. And then when I was going to book it, it was sold out.
Oh,
so
no.
I was like, oh, Jesus. I was like, I have to find like wild camping, which is like illegal in Australia. But some fella told me that there's this place where I can camp. So I was like, I checked it out. But like, it was on top of a sort of cliff. And it was pretty windy, so I was like pretty exposed.
Oh my
I was
God.
getting like smash of wind. And like, as I was looking for like a place to camp, I was like walking down this little path and like a fucking snake was on the path.
Yeah, fuck
and
that.
I was like, what am I doing?
It's one of those moments you look, you say, well, what am I doing
Where's
here?
my, like, how am I here? Like, why am I home in Ireland? Like, there's no snakes in Ireland.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I mean, was it a big snake? Do you know what kind of snake it was? Because you get some bad ones around here.
It looked brown anyway.
Fuck that. Fuck that on so many levels. That's terrifying.
But like, I left it too long. It was getting dark, and I was like, I'm gonna have to set up camp here.
Did you buy food out there, or did you bring a load of like food?
I was living off like tuna pesto wraps and gruel, like just fucking oats and water and like chia seeds.
You hard man. You fucking did that for a few days. That's hard. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm too soft for that. I think I could do that for about 48 hours, and I'd be like, right, get me back to civilization now. To do that for 4 nights is that's hard.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and it was an experience.
Did Ryan enjoy it when he got there, or was he like, what are we doing? Or did
the first night he came, it was in Lorne, and it was just rained all night, so we woke up, we were soaked, we were like, oh, this is...
That's not great.
Yeah, it wasn't... It takes a while to get into the day then, but we had a coffee and got back on the road, and...
Fair enough.
Spirits were a bit higher once we got going. But it's a good experience, like, and just even like rocking up to some campsites. Yeah, it's like...
That's cool. It's definitely one of those things that you'll tell your kids about, or you'll tell your future, like, oh, I did that around Australia. Like, that's a cool story.
Yeah.
Not everyone can do that. That's really, really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So what have you got? So you're going back to Ireland at the end of the year. What have you got moving forward? So you're going to try and set up the run club. What else? Have you got any big goals coming up that you're trying to hit?
Yeah, so moving back to Dublin, I still want to keep up like the content game.
Yeah.
So bring Cruisin for coffee over there.
Back to Dublin.
Like,
it's going international.
It's international, mate. It won't be like bringing you to the best coffee shops in Melbourne. It'll be Dublin, but like...
It'll be Costa
once
Coffee.
I have a nice...
Costa or something.
Yeah, Costa Coffee, Starbucks. Just no independent roasters like I have here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I know, kind of setting up shop with the missus, like...
Nice, mate, nice.
Get a house and all that.
Oh, it sounds like you're about to be...
Adult stuff.
You're about to go get into adulting world, man.
I know.
I'm so far off that. I am so far away from that.
I know, it's taken me a while to get around to it.
It sounds...
Slowly getting there. But that was exciting, like, it's just a life stage change.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
Which is...
Fair enough.
But like, yeah, no, it's kind of... Go back, be settled in Dublin, and then once you have your base, then like, you know, do trips, do like different running races in Europe, or
That'd be cool.
You know, come back to Australia hopefully once a year. That'd be
really cool.
That'd be insane. But
that'd be cool.
We'll see how things plan because
that's cool.
Not too cheap.
No, of course. And where can people find you if they want to keep up with you, if they want to follow your content, if they want to buy your t-shirts? Where can they find you?
Instagram, TikTok, Paulie McCabe _
Nice.
Or pauliemccabe.com to get a t-shirt.
Ooh!
The small and mediums are sold out, so you better get...
You're a bit large.
You better be large and in charge. Awesome. And extra large, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, anyway, mate, thank you so much for coming onto the podcast. It was mint talking to you. I know I've been harassing you for the last few weeks. Like, right, when are we doing it? And we finally sorted out a date, mate. So that was good chat, man. I appreciate it. Right, thank you for coming on, man.
We got it done. Thanks, Dan.